So, hi
Okay.
Robin, how are you?
Hi, Marcel. How are you doing? Yes, I'm doing well.
It's a long time I didn't talk to you, maybe a few hours. So,
Yes.
uh, now is the time for the show.
Yeah.
So, the structure will be like follows. I will ask you to introduce yourself. Then there will be demo. So
Yeah.
we will show us what exciting stuff you are building. And
Yeah.
then we will do some deep dive and I will maybe ask you some stupid questions, how it works or how it's structured.
Yeah.
So let's
There's no.
go.
Yeah. There's no definitely no stupid questions, and I'm very excited to join together with you, Marcel here. So my name is Robin. I come from the Creative Fabrica as a head of QA in the Amsterdam. So I also worked for the QA for many years, and recently I'm very interested in for the AI testing. So that's the reason I think that this is a good chance together to talk with Marcel you and get your vision and all the audience vision about the end-to-end testing AI and also maybe other topics in terms of AI in QA. Yeah.
Cool. Good. So let's go to the demo or do you
Oh,
want
all right.
to say some more?
Yeah, I'm not sure, guys. Because let me check the guys here that I'm not sure. Guys here. Okay, then in any cases, let me share my screen. Okay, that was great. Oops.
Okay, so many windows.
Yeah, I think now you say something. Maybe I switch to here. That then you're gonna.
No, now I can see that. Okay, now
Yeah.
I can see your screen properly.
So I can switch to here, and then you can see everything from my screen. That okay. Anyway, instead of Creative Fabrica, I launched a POC of using AI agent to generate the end-to-end test. But however, I'm thinking that it's not really generate test cases or test code, but it's a way to create a test between AI agent and a human in an interactive way here. So that's a demo. Let me start from demo first that I'm going to start with a new task here. So it's a live demo. So we're gonna say like we're gonna open the homepage like a human and an AI agent. So this AI agent can understand what is a homepage in our company's context. So it's directly redirect to navigate to our homepage and then just without asking the URL. And this is like this, we're gonna get some logs about what human input and what is the AI response from there. This is very simple, right? But however, most of the test cases for us, because we are the marketplace and platform for the crafters, we need to register from our website. So let's say I told the AI, I am a registered user. So the AI itself can analyze is okay. What we need to do here based on the human input and create a user here. Now the browser here is already, you can see here we already create a user and just log in as this user. So we can continue the test here. And then from here, I want to click this button. Like I want to click this freebies button that then continue to download. Like we talk with the product manager that I want to test this feature. Then we're gonna go. What we're gonna do here is like, I click the freebies button from the top right corner. Let's say yes. It has to click this button here, and then we just go to the next pages here. Um, Marcy, do you have any questions, or maybe I continue move forward for this one?
I have a ton of questions, but let's finish the demo first and then we will discuss the details.
That's super. Okay. Now we just tell the people that, hey, I want to go to these pages. I want to click some buttons here, but in more complicated task cases, I want to go open the product detail page here. So I click the first. I don't have. I click first product, just to make it easy. Super. And then we're gonna have, we recently, we have some new features here is because we can click some buttons based on the screenshot. Now I want to click this download button. So let me make a screenshot of this button. Yes. And paste it here. I type, click this image. So now the product has been downloaded. We generally need to also make an assertion here. So I assert the success download pop-up is visible. And let's see the assertion. What's AI's assertion of this screenshot? Okay, the result for this AI assertion site that the assertion success download pop-up is visible, and we also can assert another one like we assert this try for free button is visible from this pop-up. Like I assert the try for free button is visible in the pop-up. Yes, and the AI also told us that, okay, this is asserted and it exists in the page. So now this is the first stage that a human and an AI agent generated the test cases in an interactive way. But what is a generated test case? Maybe the people just in the stream have a question about that. Let's have a look for this one. While we are talking between the human and the AI agent, the AI agent is not just execute the steps that you tell the AI agent, but also going to generate the related test code while running the steps here. So let's say here we generate, okay, we go to the home page here, and then it generates something very specific based on our old product in Creative Fabrica. It's not just like a go-to, but the generated code is going to be a little bit more safe with the best practice. So first part is like human and AI agent can create a test and generate test cases based on this interactive way. So this is the first part. You want me to continue the demo, Marcel, or I have second part about how to rerun that?
The- the-
Yeah, I continue. Right? It's a little, your voice a little bit breaking, but I think you mentioned that.
yeah, you- you-
Okay. So this is the first stage. Let's imagine that product manager or UI designers that who can really create the task cases based on their acceptance criteria. And then the task cases has been created here automatically. And then the next step, we want to run the task cases from the start because we have to run the task case. We want to add these task cases into our exist end-to-end test regression suite, right? Then I'm gonna run from start. Okay, let's see how it works. Right. You find that this guy is just like playwright test, right? It's just re-executed all of the things that you just talk with the AI agent and they just run the test cases for you at the end. Okay, let's say at the end, the execution result. He said, rerun the success, please switch the report tab to see the report. Then we also add a AI report, which provided by the MudSign.js and to understand, oh, is there something, how this going to be asserted? And this is maybe a little bit other topics that about the tool itself, about this mid-sign, but it's not amazing about today's webinar. Okay, I maybe post a little bit here for you or guys, any guys in the on the stream that if you have any questions until now that we're gonna maybe answer some questions. I'm gonna start the second part. Marcel, can you hear me? Oh, sorry, maybe I stopped sharing first.
yeah,
I cannot really hear you clearly. That maybe I close my close. Or it's just for me. No, but it's not recovered. Uh, I think it's only for me, or it's a message from Marbite. I think your voice is breaking. Oh right. Oh, maybe in the meantime,
What about
guys.
now?
Hmm?
What about now?
Now it's perfect. Now it's super good. Okay. Then maybe I can answer some questions because I see the questions that from the chat from this online. Maybe I don't know. Maybe there are some guys on the stream. I also see Anton. Um, oh, it's only me. I try to host this one by myself first, and then wait for Master to come back. I see a question about: is it possible to save the script as human readable text and generate the test on the fly? Yes. Let me share my screen again. Um,
Now I'm back. Sorry, guys, for the complications. I will cut it out from the final video.
no worries. I see a first a question that people raised about that whether we can export the task cases from here. Yes, because we want to rerun the task cases, so we have this one like save current test, right? You click save current test that we're gonna have an export test. We're gonna say that it's gonna save two things here. Let's say, let's wait a little bit. That I hope it's gonna be saved. Okay, it's a successfully saved here, and then let me open any terminal. Right, today, right. Let's say if I open this one with maybe with a cursor. And this is a test cases we just generated. Why we have this long paragraph here is the image. If you remember that in our examples, demos that we take a screenshot of the download button. And this is the image that we take. And so all of the test cases can be generated here. But however, people don't need to maintain that because this is just a one time. We're also going to save the plain human text together with this generated test cases file. So this is the first file we generated, and second file is a Gash file. I open this one. This is all the elements are identified during the AI actions. Maybe you heard about that. The AI can be self-healing, about maybe steps can be self-healing. So all of this, like, because we don't find, you click one element here, the AI just find the element immediately for current HTML screenshot or current HTML tree here and save it. And once the AI finds this locator and when you rerun the task cases, it's gonna use the locator from here instead of calling AI every time. So it's going to save a lot of money. That let's imagine that your maybe 80% of your task cases are very stable. Maybe the features behind the testing never be changed. So those task cases are going to be just like this generated one time and then continue running in your CI pipeline. But once the element has been changed, the AI will be retriggered again to find the element. So that's a cache mechanism provided by the MySign.js. When we next step, when we discuss the architecture of this AI agent, I'm gonna go details about how it's gonna works by the MySign.js. So to answer your question simply, yes, we can export all of these files, plain text and the generated test, and also the cache file, these three files to exported files. Okay, let me see. There are any other questions? Yeah, I see a question from Anton. If I miss some questions, I'm gonna go up again. How does it differ from traditional test recorders where we can navigate through the app under test and have it record test? We can do that through AI agent, but it's an additional layer. It's also a very, very, very great question. Even in currently, instead of a playwright testing, we can record test, right? But we have to record the elements, right? Your element is going to be saved like get by row or get by test ID over there. Then your test is will not be how to say that, is not be self-held. So every time if something has been changed, the test cases itself, we have to edit the test itself. That's gonna increase a lot of maintenance of the current like playwright test. That's maybe one of the pain points that when some companies have a lot of test cases, that's gonna be a little bit of problems for that part. But but for AI generated testing, we only need to maintain the acceptance criteria. So that's the only thing as an input. We don't care about the generated task. We don't care about the cache because that I only call it as a like metadata. Exact. That's super. Yes, you summarized very, 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 very good than me. So okay, I move to the. I have answered Anton's question. I go to the Anthony's question. Yep, that's a good question. How does the approach differ from the traditional recorded test? Okay, that's maybe similar. Maybe I also answered Anthony's question also. Is there any other question, Top?
Yeah, I think we covered that one from Anthony.
Yeah. I see a question also from the Marabat, if I pronounce your name properly. Which language also in the AI capable of generating text? I can show you again that if I use Chinese, because I'm Chinese, so I can speak, I can use Chinese to show you how it's gonna work. Let me share my screen again.
You are still
I was
sharing. I will just make the screen bigger so we can see that.
Okay, let me restart that the reset test. Now I start from beginning, and I change my language to Chinese. So this is going to be open the homepage. He also understands that I can just reproduce every steps that in my own language. Uh, let's say it's okay, and then I say this is a registered user.
This is funny for me. I can't understand at all.
No, it's fine. It's like because maybe some people have a question that is it something like function behind that? No, it's really behind that as an AI native solution here. So I just show a few demos here. Like we can definitely like maybe use your own language. But when we generate test cases, the test code here, like all the generated code is still in English. Like, oh, we want to do the register user. It will not use the Chinese as I was here, but it's just convert everything into our understand language. So for your PM, UX, who cannot speak English or who want to use their native language, they can also definitely put their own language here.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
I'll just bring us back.
Yeah, sorry. The script will be generated in which language also? It's going to be generated in TypeScript because the whole architecture behind that is based on the in the Playwright TypeScript version. So we're gonna when we go to the sorry, I maybe take a little bit long time. When we go to the architecture discussion, we're gonna show the architecture of this end-to-end AI test agent.
Yeah. Maybe I would stop now the questions. They could keep adding more. So you are welcome to add more questions. We would be super excited and super happy to cover them at the end. But maybe let's start from this deep dive discussion again. Sorry for dropping out, some connectivity issue. So how this is built? Is it your solution you are building, or it's some set of open source tools you somehow combined, or could we
Yeah.
start from the beginning, like from the basics?
Yeah, I stopped sharing. Maybe I stopped sharing first. This is a building on top of a tool called MySign.js. So it's
Mm-hmm.
not it's the MySign.js is a completely open source tool that created for this AI purpose. The original idea of this tool is to control the browser, and then they extend their tool to control the mobile phones. So now it's like now it's widely used for the end-to-end automation testing because it's roughly very fitable for our usage. When I use there too, the my sign.js, I'm gonna also make the link here, the person who want to check while we are talking.
I was actually trying to find the link, but you were
Yeah,
quicker.
I sent this link here.
Yeah.
It's really like the AI functions here, but it has a few problems for me. Like I cannot directly use it for the real day-to-day work because the test is unstable. Sometimes it's doing this, sometimes it's doing that. When I rerun the generated test, it's very flaky, even than just a people write
Mm-hmm.
test. Second part is like it still requires people to write the code. This is the one of the challenges I would like to resolve is like if we invite PM to write a test or
Mm-hmm.
UX to write a test from their design, from their acceptance criteria, they don't have the strong ability or maybe they don't have the VS Code even in their laptop to write this code.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the reason why I'm thinking, okay, it's better to have this layer on top and also to build this the things for our own purpose.
Okay, and the extra layer you build on top, is that app we saw where you type all the instructions.
Yeah.
So this is something you build, and is it just for your purpose, or is it open source, or do you plan to somehow start selling it, or what are the long term?
Unfortunately, currently we cannot open source that because the reason is because it has a very strong link with our old product logic here. Um,
Mm-hmm.
the idea here is not only for using this MySite.js or create the UI for that. It's not
Uh-huh.
this. We also apply the best practice of code generation and
Mm-hmm.
also to reuse your existing end-to-end test framework. If you guys still remember that, we have one step of I am a registered user. The AI have no idea about what is kind of a registered user in your context. So that's the reason
Mm-hmm.
why we have to embed it, our own end-to-end test framework as part of this AI agent. Now the AI
Mm-hmm.
agent understand, oh, if you want to be a registered user, we have to call a function from your existing end-to-end test framework. I think most of the audience in this webinar is using like Playwright, maybe it's very popular, or maybe use a
Mm-hmm.
Puppeteer, or maybe the Selenium or something. We want to call this and these frameworks to prepare our test data
Mm-hmm.
before we to do others.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I see. So you basically build the app to control the driver via this MidSense JS.
yeah,
And one of the idea or question pops up during your demo was why I need to write step by step. Could I write there like an entire article or maybe upload my Excel file with the text
yeah,
to execute them? Do you have such a feature there, or because for me, I'm maybe not patient enough, but I don't want to wait for each and every step to be executed. I would rather like to send the entire Excel file with all the ideas what I want to test and let the tool do it.
yeah.
Or even better, maybe let the tool generate the tests based on the some user stories or
Yeah.
some functional specification.
Yeah, very good question. The initial idea from my perspective is like I want to have an interactive way between the human and the AI agent. So like a human just tell one thing, the AI agent do one thing. It has two
Mhm.
reasons behind that. The first is like interaction, right? The few people like you are working with a QA engineer, not just a tool here. Second reason is because of when we split the
Mhm.
steps here, that will make test steps going to be very stable. So if you give a one complete paragraph without any context, the AI itself maybe it take a little bit long time to analyze it that. But however, my
Mhm.
understanding for the future is like people maybe don't like to write this step-by-step things, right? Maybe just to
Mhm.
read from the Jira ticket with some story, with some acceptance criteria. Yes, if we just write line by line, then it's just a
Mhm.
mimic the way we are doing today. Another thing I'm thinking is uh, people told me that, hey, we have to write a proper acceptance criteria, but it's not happening all the time, right?
Mhm.
That's the reason why I'm thinking that for some design tools like Figma, Miro, whatever, this kind of tools, we can read from their design and then
Mhm.
generate acceptance criteria from the design automatically. So
Mm-hmm.
then go to then have the test cases. So from design to the testing, maybe going to be combined just into a one go in the future. But
Mm-hmm.
however, it's just my idea. It's not implemented yet.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And are you building this tool yourself, or do you have some colleagues to help you with, or how it's organized? I would be interested how much time maybe it requires to come to this stage to be able to run it, because this is kind of internal tool. You are saying you are not building it because to sell it, but to help yourself.
Yeah.
So I would expect it need to be super difficult and it takes too much time. So is it easy or not?
To be honest, the most of the complicated part has been resolved in the MindSign.js, the tool I
Uh-huh.
shared with you. So
Uh-huh.
this is a little bit like because they are the open source, they have the open community. If there are some features that everyone can contribute to them, well,
Uh-huh.
I'm just one of them to contribute together with them. And for rest of part which very close to the company's logic, like where I'm working at from the Creative Fabrica, this part is very close that we don't have plan to release that. So in terms of how long to create that, however, I think once I introduce the architecture of this tool, after this 1 hour, you guys may be gonna create it by yourself. You will not
Mm-hmm.
come back to my webinar anymore in the future, maybe. So
I,
yeah, it's not very complicated.
I see.
Yeah.
Actually, if someone is interested, maybe we can share also your article, Robin. You was writing about that, so there might be some more details or different angles to the same topic. But we can do it later after the stream. So going back to my questions, you also mentioned some assertions.
Yeah.
So what type of assertions you could get there? Is it something generic to cover all, or it's contain text or some regex or visibility checks or all of the traditional one which is provided by Playwright, or how this works?
Yeah. Oh, that's right. I say Sanjay's word. Yeah. Uh, thank you, Sanjay. And yes, all roughly all kind of assertions that provided by Playwright we can support. So
Uh-huh.
beyond of the Playwright native assertions, we're going to have other AI-based assertions. Because, for example, sometimes we want to understand the meaning from the pictures or from some kind of screenshot. For
Uh-huh.
this one, we're going to have the ability from this too. And also for some tools, like maybe I saw some people are from very famous company here that they are not really classic B2C, B2B companies or e-commerce company. They have their SaaS company. So for their application, they even can have the screenshot as a part of the assertion. I assert this one is inside of their view. So it's completely supported from this too.
Mm-hmm.
You also can expand to your other assertions.
Okay, so now I'm getting a bit confused now, because the more I understand, the less less I feel comfortable about it. So, what is the relationship between Playwright and Midsense JS? Is it some extra layer on top of that, or you converting this Midsense JS into Playwright, or how it works?
Okay. The playwright is a way to control the browser, and mid-sign is on top, like to tell how to use this browser. It's like, um, let's imagine in this way. The playwright is like a car, and the mid-sign GIS is like a driver to tell how where to drive this car.
Mm-hmm.
So, and how to drive this car? They ask the AI, and the AI tells the playwright, okay, we have to go to this, we have to go to that.
Okay, so basically the midsense is the layer which converts the human language into some playwright code, right?
In the runtime, yes, but they don't
Yeah.
directly generate the playwright code.
Uh-huh.
It's our layers generate the playwright code. But I want to share maybe the architecture. I think for guys that who are in the
Yeah.
stream is, and also for you,
Just
Maso.
last question to the assertions, and then let's share what you have to share.
Yeah.
So you mentioned also the AI asserts, like visually, or
Certainly.
creating the visual images.
Yes.
Is it part of the mid-sense, or you build the tool, or where it fits? Like what? It's not part of Playwright definitely, or I
No,
didn't notice that they would have such a feature.
it's part of the mid-size JS. This kind of
Okay,
AI solutions like to understand the pictures visually.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So
So
now let's go
yeah,
move. Let's move to the architecture topic.
I mixed everything together, so that makes people maybe feel confused that because these three things are a little bit confused. And also, I think guys in the stream are also using the MCP server. So I'm gonna describe my solution here. If you can see my mirror board, right?
Yeah, yeah, we can see that.
Yeah. Okay. Super. Um, where so it's like idea why I'm doing this. Because I'm working with a lot of guys here, maybe in this webinar also who joined. I see a lot of problems or maybe the challenges we want to resolve together. Is first like a lot of people expect to have efficient test, but also like want to have cheaper maintenance and flexible Q engineers resources, but also prevent bugs as much as and as early as possible. So we have a lot of like seems like very conflicts, but I'm trying to find a way. Is there a cheaper way, but also can make an efficient test, but with a very flexible Q engineer resources and prevent bugs as much as possible and as early as possible? Then I'm thinking like this way. One of the Q engineers told me that, okay, can we have the pair testing? If every engineers or every people have the engineer sit beside them, then yes, they're going to have a good quality over there, but we cannot do that. So if I can have an agent sit beside our developer or sit beside our PM, I think that would going to be very easier for them. Then I just
Hmm.
scale up my thinking. Okay, I want to go to like this way. Just one person, one agent that beside of them, they can do things by themselves without like involve a lot of humans here. Okay, to achieve this agent, this is my ideas like, okay, this is the characteristics of this agent. Be interactive with human to learn the test and run test, understand the natural language, prepare test data, and generate test code without or less maintenance, follow up the best practice to generate test, and self-heal for the test locator and also the test steps. So this is,
Hmm.
okay, I want to have this kind of agent for myself. Okay, this is something that most of people interested. How this is working here that this agent can understand your context. This is a part for our old part. It's not from Math.js. So we tell the large language model here is like this large language model is just can understand the text without like a multimodal language model. So
Hmm.
this can read system prompts. It's like something you guys maybe definitely know that you are an expert QA, blah blah blah. Things give some interaction for this AI agent. Then we get a human input. Like you guys see that
Hmm.
open the homepage. This is human input here. And then first we're gonna get the embedded right here about the context. This part is to let the large language model to understand what is the homepage means and what is maybe the another page, studio page means here. So they have the general context of the application under testing. This part just convert our human language to the commands. So you maybe have a question about what is commands here. It's the next one. We don't use a MCP server here. I will tell you why after, but we just register all of the tools here for this same large language model. But after this large language model understand the user's inputs, then this large language model need to select the correct tool to achieve this command.
Hmm.
At this moment, for example, you remember that we can navigation, like I open the home page, this is we have the function or tool register called the navigation. And then like we click some buttons here, we generate another one, and we register another tool called Save AI Click. And also maybe other tool like user registration, because we want to test the registered user. So we just make all of these functions are registered as tools for this large language model. This is our second layer, so we can convert the human languages to the chain of tools. Second, in the same layer here. You mentioned before the webinar, and Marcel and may also talk about your solutions or rest our other people's solutions. Maybe they are using the MCP server. I'm not using the MCP server here, is because my tool may coming from different part. The tool may be coming from the MySign.js. The tool may be coming from Playwright itself, or the tool may be coming from your existing end-to-end test framework. Maybe you already have the end-to-end test framework in your company, in your organization. I expect that all of these tools can share a single browser instance. So no matter it's coming from MySign.js or coming from native Playwright framework or coming from whatever the things, all of this just share a single browsers. So now let's say how it's gonna looks like if I just do like click button, click these freebies that if you guys still remember that demo. When we can tell that click freebies after the first large language model converted into the AI tab, they're gonna generate this this part of the functions. This AI tab functions is coming from the my.js, but the whole generated code is generated by our own system because only this AI tab free this part of code is not stable enough because it's going to make your test cases going to be very flaky when you rerun that. So at this moment, when we call a tool registration, this function gonna first call mid.sign.js. And mid.sign.js gonna also ask another your local embedded or rack to get a context of these related actions. So at this moment, when we do the AI actions, it's not just the AI actions. AI, the second, this second step that they also acquire another context of AI actions. So let's come back a little bit here that we have tool registration. And our tool gonna call mySign.js. And our mySign.js gonna get the context from our own embedded or rack. Right? But however, how we generate this little bit beautiful code instead of just calling the mySign.js functions here, this is how our process is here. Before we interactive listen to each steps, we start browser events to listen to the browser events. And when we generate we know, oh, it should be a click something, then we're going to generate the very simple code by like this one, AI tab freebies menu bar in the top right corner. And then after this steps finish, we're going to wait a little bit to check, is there any events in the browser happened? For example, navigation happened, download happened, or whatever event happened. And based on this event, we optimize or rephrase the code from this to this. I call this one is like applying the best practice of the code generation because this code is not enough. If you just use this AI tab, your test roughly cannot be executed, that your test is going to be very flaky, you will get just throw it away. But when you use this one, your test is going to be very stable. Why? It's because the mySign.js or AI itself doesn't understand how to wait. Like a human write playwright test, right? This is a lot of challenge part about how to wait exact things to happen. This is the same challenge for AI. So that's the reason why that when we generate code, we are not just using the AI to generate code here, but we are optimize the generated code at the end. So if we summarize here, it's like the first large language model gonna convert your human languages into two commands. And each tool is registered from either from your mySign.js functions or your existing end-to-end test framework or the playwright test functions. And all of these tools are sharing a single browser instance. And then at the end, we're applying another layer to optimize the generated code to apply the best practice. Hopefully I explained the architecture in this way is clear for our audience here.
Oh, maybe I have just question to the last step. You said you optimize the code. Does it mean that you run some LLM call to regenerate that, or you have some hard-coded scripted converters, or how that work?
Yeah, this part is not converted by the large language models. It's our hard-coded part by applying some best practice. So it's like hard convention based on the events.
Okay, good,
Yeah.
good, nice. Okay, So I have a few more questions, and then maybe we can move to the chat again. So I would be curious about what you was demoing there about this visual assert. Is there some specific model behind, or how do you deal with that? Or do you use one model or multiple models? And what are your experience? What's your experience with the models? Is it important these days still to pick up the right one, or it's now commodity? You can do the same with any of available models out
Yeah.
there.
Roughly in this demo, I'm just using a single model. It's Gemini 2.5 Flash. Very cheap
Mm-hmm.
model. It's, I'm even using the free credits that for this model.
Mm-hmm.
Even you can get a visual checking and also like click this download button by screenshot. But however, based on our experiences, we find that the, the model is very, very important when we do this viewer checking or viewer planning. So the Gemini 2.5 Flash is definitely not enough. How it works, how we say, why we say that is like we even cannot click on the checkbox because it cannot find where is checkbox or maybe have some deviation of the coordinations here. So
Mm-hmm.
we would suggest that to use some little bit large models here. Like for me, sometimes I am using Q1 R3 and that model a little bit better. And also we have the UI TARS model. This is the first model I'm using from also built on top of Q1 R3. It's specifically built on top for this like engine test also. I can share the names here that you
Yeah,
guys.
that would be nice. I'm just googling now, and it would be maybe easier for me if you would just share that in a chat. That would be super interesting because this is something what we also dealing with now,
Yeah,
and there is a lot of research and development and testing and experiments, and to use some good models for visual recognition, still, at least our experience, pretty difficult to find the
yeah.
best fit for that. So did you share that with via chat or?
In our chat,
Yeah,
yes, in
yeah, I
the
see. I see.
yeah.
Cool. Okay, good. So going back to my question, I'm interested about some more stuff. Um, and one of my questions was how did you apply this on the project, and whether it's just kind of prototype or you have it broadly implemented, but you probably partially mentioned that, but maybe if you could share some more details.
Yeah.
Uh, Maybe even how much you have like manual testing, traditional automation, and then let's call it AI-powered test automation. So can you somehow distinguish this and maybe tell us what will be the future, whether you could imagine that you will everywhere use this kind of approach?
Yeah, it's very very excellent question. So currently, this project is in a POC stage. So we just start some workshops recently with product managers, UI designers, and manual QA engineers together to experiment this. To experiment this tool together. I get their feedbacks. I see the challenges, and I definitely see the opportunities, but also still a lot of challenges here. So we don't have execute any AI test regularly at this moment because it's still
Mhm.
on POC. But I will, I think, I hope.
Okay, and so what are the biggest challenges, or what you are getting as a feedback from others? What do you think it will be the tough part to
Um,
deal with?
yeah, I think it's a two part. The first part is a technical part, right? We still need to make it stable. It's like if your if the test case passed today and fail tomorrow without any reason, we lost the trust over there.
Mm-hmm.
I will to have to stable this test framework, this AI test framework. We need to invest in more things here, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Second part is use cases. How we can onboard our product managers or non-technical people to use this tool. And this is also a challenge because we're gonna, it's not just a tool itself. I think it's gonna change the way of the working completely from QA, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now is we maybe some companies, advanced situation that they're gonna have an end-to-end test after they have the feature created, Jira ticket created. They're gonna plan end-to-end test over there. But after you have this tool, it's not just that you have to complete the Azure way. And maybe when we talk about shift left testing, will be completely changed. How to make it the purpose or smooth to be transformed to that destination is also very challenging.
Yeah, yeah. I can see that as well with our customers that something what was like traditional, proven and working now it's disrupted by questioning like okay, but now maybe we should rethink this part or that part and
Yeah,
maybe is the page object model still valid when we can
yeah,
generate everything like this and if it doesn't work, let's do it again.
yeah,
So a lot of stuff like testing pyramid, if the UI automation is not so expensive in terms of complexity,
yeah,
would that be still the valid to uh,
yeah,
have only API testing if the users are super interested about how it works and they don't care about the backend and a lot of these kind of
yeah,
questions are popping up. So, but I wanted to focus on the demo and the technology part,
yeah,
not the methodology today, so I don't want to blow the webinar up with
yeah.
this type of topics. So what else do I have here? So you mentioned that it could also test the mobile apps. You said mobile
Yes.
apps, so it could do both web and mobile.
Yes, current, because, since last release from MySign.js, it already support Android. I'm not very sure for the iOS, but I think for the Android, yes, it definitely
I
supports
see.
that.
So
Yeah.
so what is the driving tool then? If because I would guess that Playwright couldn't drive the Android apps or native apps.
Yeah,
Do,
I'm
do
not
you know?
very, very sure, but I think they are using the Appium behind that.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Okay, so that's even more interesting. Then I'll need to really explore
Yeah.
the tool.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's maybe well, very quickly scan the questions in the chat, and then we can wrap up
Yeah. I said maybe we start from
from bottom.
yeah. I said maybe that's
Okay.
fair for the people who just raised question earlier.
Okay,
Um,
it's not fair for the first one, the most
yeah.
the brave ones, but okay, let's do
Yeah.
it from that side. And
Um,
I'll use the YouTube channel probably or not. We have some question. No, I will use this in this other tool.
Yes, I say the first question from Evgeny that with having less efforts to write tests, how do you make sure you don't have duplicates or that generated tests bring value that and don't blow up your CI budget? It's a very good question. In current demo, if you say that after our current input of the test is coming from the acceptance criteria, right? Then the question for us is how do we currently manage the acceptance criteria in different companies? Do we have a like centralized platform to say, oh, we have all of this acceptance criteria for the complete product to avoid these duplicates or too many test cases over there? Second part, this is something I talked with Marcel also. Is it possible that we use the design as an input to generate a test instead of having uh, this acceptance criteria in the middle even? Imagine that either no matter for Miro or for Figma that you can have this UI design, and we can even just use another agent, right? Maybe to analyze this your Figma design or Miro design that to generate the test cases as an input for this AI agent. So maybe
Mhm.
at the end, you're going to have a chain of the AI agents to manage that. Um, yeah, I hopefully answer your question, but I definitely, maybe it's not the detail for the AI budget. Maybe it's something like we can also discuss next webinar about methodology.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. So what else? There was one question if it's possible to fail the test by clicking on something which is not available.
Yeah.
maybe I'm just watching the time, so we just answer yes or no, and then we can move on to the other question because for that another demo,
Yeah.
it would maybe take too
It's
long.
definitely yes, because we test that ability whether the agent really can find bugs. It is definitely yes. And if we have time today, then I'm going to show a demo at the end about these failures use cases.
Okay, I just don't want to lose some visitors if they have 1 hour dedicated for this. I think I scheduled that for 1 hour, so we have 10
Yeah.
minutes to finish the rest. So then, if it's time, we can add another demo at the end.
Yeah.
Then Karina was asking about the comparison between Playwright in Cursor or maybe even VS Code, like Playwright MCP and using that in IDE, if you could compare that. And I think you partially covered that, but maybe we can revisit the question.
Yeah. So I think a lot of companies already have this like a Cursor, Copilot, and even maybe other tools they can generate a test. But be careful with that. It's the same. I did the same thing before. But be careful with that. What is the input of generating the end-to-end test? It's not the source code, but the acceptance criteria or design. So we cannot just use some like MCP server from Playwright or other tools really by reading your source code to generate the tests, end-to-end test. It's very hard to achieve, but maybe they can achieve. At least I don't know. It's really can be stable achieved. Second part, some MCP server or Copilot or whatever other this tool embedded into the VS IDE can allow you to put your acceptance criteria and then generate a test. But the problem here is like they don't understand the locator. They don't understand the situation of your HTML at that moment. Maybe then you need to also paste or give the full context of the whole HTML pages or the mobile app to this MCP server. Then they can generate some test to playwright test cases. But our solution is not to generate, if you say all of my today's demo, we don't have any locators. We just have the description of the locators, like freebies button. But the MCP server going to generate the playwright locators and try to generate the playwright test cases here. We are not generating that. So that's going to be still make your test cases become flaky at the end.
Yeah, I'm not sure now because what MCP Playwright MCP could do is that it has access to entire browser content,
Mm.
and it uses accessibility tree
Yeah,
of that page together with some LLM models. So it nicely picking up the locators.
yeah,
So it might be, and it's advancing heavily. I was following them for multiple weeks, and I saw how all the features, like when I saw it first time, I was, oh, that's brilliant idea, but they are missing this, that, and that. And then I saw next day that it was just popping up all the features I have on my kind of wish list. They keep adding that
yeah,
there. So I think this might be pretty interesting alternative. What I feel like a missing piece is being able to use the components
yeah,
you already pre-built, and it could be probably introduced there as well, but by default out of the box it's not there,
yeah,
and there is no good practice how to do it, so you would need to build it from the scratch. That would be my view on it. And I saw your demo just in 20 minutes, so it wouldn't be fair to now compare
exactly.
without any deep dive. But my view, and I did some deeper dives into MCP Playwright.
Yeah,
So I feel that the locators itself shouldn't be a problem,
yeah,
but you need to regenerate the tests all the time. And here it looks like you have it somehow inbuilt in the solution.
yeah.
So
So
that's my comment on that question. Sorry, it was question for you, but I
no,
was
no, no,
go.
I think it's very important to have everyone's vision here because I also don't use that player MCP very frequently. I think one more thing that, in my opinion, at the beginning is like, I expected our AI agent can support user registration from our backend. I think most of guys, when you write a playwright test, that maybe the test data is not prepared from UI, but prepared by API calls. So that's one of my personal expectation that if my AI agent can also prepare test data without the UI, just by calling the APIs from our servers, they're going to make our task a little bit more stable and more trustable for that. So this is only my personal.
You should join my workshop tomorrow, but you are probably too far from Prague to be
Yeah,
here.
next time.
We'll do a lot of actually a lot of things are changing.
Yeah,
Like if you, it's crazy how obsolete some pieces of the technology could be in 3 months or 6 months. So the workshops I was running a few months ago about AI and testing was it's completely changed. So,
yeah,
but why I'm pulling this out was the what you are talking now about all these backend tests and everything. The cursor and VS Code are advancing so heavily and so quickly
yeah.
that a lot of stuff could be done easily, which wasn't there before. So that just comment on this what this API backend testing with the playwright. You can do it there as well, and it could be generated with the agent with Copilot, this VS Code Copilot.
Yeah, I can
So
imagine that changed very fast. Maybe what I today discussed, and tomorrow the guys gonna no, I'm gonna have a new feature immediately.
yeah.
Yeah.
So okay, so I'll move on with the rest of the questions. Thanks for the sharing this. I'm curious how more complex cases where the test data is created dynamically through the APIs. Maybe you mentioned this now, no? So you have it. So
Yes.
box is ticked. Let's move on.
Yeah.
For example, if each requires new user. So this is just detail of the question. So we can skip this. That it's covered. And then I don't know whether you covered this question about the exploratory testing and automating that because I dropped from the call for a while or not.
I haven't covered the Anton's question about exploratory testing. And this is I would be honest that this is the first conversation I had with Marcel that I'm asking Marcel that whether your tool can support the exploratory testing by using your Wopee.io. I think I should know that. And to do the exploratory testing. Currently, unfortunately, we cannot. We
Uh-huh.
don't. Yes, so it's still like the idea that my expectation that if we really can do the exploratory testing by the AI agent, the AI agent is smart enough to understand what task cases need to be generated, then it's possible. And another possibility, in my opinion, is like now we have to write this acceptance criteria, right? If we really can change this test case generation by using something like Figma or Mira's design as an input, and then get a one more agent to generate test cases that can be consumed by this AI agent. So you can imagine there is always a producer of the test cases. Another one is always a consumer from this AI agent. Then potentially we can mimic this explorer testing in the future. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. We are building something like that, but we are not there yet as well, because that's the thing. If you have a product, that's the idea. Or assumptions. If you have a product and you have some backlog or list of iterations, something how you change your app, and you have a regression test as well,
Yeah.
and you know after each and every feature you implement, you know what is the change in your regression test,
Yeah.
and what is the tests you want to execute. And if you keep repeating this, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 times, you are getting some data which could be used to maybe to be summarized or put into the rack or somewhere, and then we can mimic this. So whenever I bring the new feature request or some specification or Figma file or anything like that, then I can generate something similar what was generated before. based on the on the knowledge. So that's my idea behind. So that's what I call it. Like we have regression testing. This is kind of progressive or progression testing. I don't know what is the term. And from there, it's I believe just the next step would be exploratory testing, because if this would work, I
Yeah.
would just try to describe my users and say behave like this power user, or behave like this business customer, or behave like this retail customer, or behave like this some kid, and then it could start generate some test cases. I don't know whether this would work, but this is kind of experiments or ideas we are working on now to bring
Yeah.
it into the tool.
Yeah, I also say the Anton suggestion is the ideas here is I think the key in the exploratory is a robotic way of understanding what a good or nasty test is and what successful failures. Yes, I fully also
Hmm.
agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
with that maybe we could finish now. We are 1 minute
Yeah.
overrunning, but it was perfect. Thank you very much.
I'll try my best to explain that architecture. Feel free to raise questions in Marcel's this maybe linking or whatever the places, and then we can have future conversation together through the
Yeah,
mobile.
we can continue. Let us know whether you in comments whether you want us to continue this discussion. We can go deeper, wider, and discuss some other ideas. If
Yeah.
you are interested in more ideas, then let us know. Don't forget to subscribe. There will be more such experts like Robin coming into this channel. I'm now hunting them all, and I will bring them here.
Thanks, Marcel's
So,
invitation.
yeah.
And
Thank you
thanks.
very much. Thank you, Robin, that you joined the show.
Thank you.
Bye.
See you guys. Bye.
Bye bye.